but I wanted to share with you the results that we achieved by using General Finishes Java Gel Stain. So stick around and let's begin. I've been wanting to upload this video for a very long time, and I wanted to show you all what the end result was of refinishing the table with the General Finishes Java Gel Stain. I like seeing the final results of a demonstration and felt that you would as well. I do apologize for the delay in uploading this video, but I have a really good reason as to why I was late, and I do explain that at the end of this video, so you have to stick around to hear the reason. I didn't video the table prior to or during the process of refinishing, but I did take a few photos during the process that I have included. I've also included some what to do's and what not to do's along the way. I took this photo of the supplies that we used during this process, and I didn't realize until after the fact that I included the wrong can of poly in this photo. The poly in the photo was not used, and instead we used a different product that was made by Minwax at that time. We had no prior experience refinishing wood, so here are some supplies that we felt were useful to us during this process. Lots of rags to quickly clean up spills, plenty of brushes that are specific to staining and applying finishing coats. We had quality brushes, just 2 of them, brushes of various sizes, some sponge brushes that helped with applying the polyurethane, and quite a few of the disposable type brushes that will allow for touch-ups to clean them all over again. Some plastic wrap to wrap your brushes between coats to prevent them from drying, sandpaper with different grit levels. We started the process with just regular sandpaper. Then we incorporated a palm sander, and at some point in certain spots we use a manual sandpaper holder. Most stores will carry packages of sandpaper with different grit levels, which I thought was helpful in one pack. Drop cloth to cover your floor. Wood stripper. In the last video I mentioned that I used citrus strip, and I found it very helpful and easy to use. You would apply the product to your surface, you waited the desired amount of time, and then you would wipe it off, and it worked just that quick and easy. That was a great product. Brush cleaner, of course, some gloves, face protection to either include a chemical mask, a dust mask, or some type of eye protection, or all. Paint lid openers, or you could use a flathead screwdriver. A mallet to tap lids closed on paint cans. An empty metal container to dispose of your cloths, because the liquid and chemicals that are on those cloths are flammable and can be combustible. Let's see, a container with some water on it, with water in it to again help with wiping up spills and things like that. Tack cloth, of course, the stain, and we know that we use Java, and your selection. My lungs are very sensitive to dust and chemical smells, so I did wear some type of protection across my face the entire process. If possible, I would recommend that you take the piece of furniture that you're refinishing outdoors. If you're unable to do that, I think opening a window within your home and running a fan to circulate the air would be very helpful. 24 hours after applying any type of product, the air was still pretty heavy with the smell of chemicals. I initially started this process months ago to talk about the General Finishes Java Gel Stain, which seems to be trending in the refinishing world at this time, and I know why now. This product performed very well. It's very easy to use and apply and to clean up after. You apply the desired amount of stain to your piece of furniture, and then you will wipe the product off. If you didn't achieve the color you wanted at that time, you would just repeat those same steps all over again until you achieve the desired results. It's that simple. That is why I've crowned this stain with a pink bow on its head, because it was the easiest product in this entire process to use. The reason we decided to refinish the table was because it had lots of scratches, nicks, and dings, so the table really did need a facelift. So here's a photo of the table in its state after we had removed much of the original surface finish. We had already done most of the sanding at this point as well. Here is a picture of the table when we had applied a wood conditioner or pre-stainer. And the conditioner just helps oil-based products to adhere better to the surface, and it prevents a lot of blotchiness and streaks that you can get if you do not use a wood conditioner. Next, we applied a few coats of the Java gel stain, and that's what this photo shows. Then this next photo is a photo of the table after we had applied the third and final coats of the Java gel stain. This photo here includes the painted white base, which completed the two-tone look that I was going after. Painting the base was more cumbersome than I thought it would be. I started painting with chalk paint, didn't like that. Then I moved over to using some regular paint. That didn't work. I resorted to using some spray paint. It wasn't that bad, but wasn't what I really. So I finally just resorted to using a generic satin cream color paint, and I just used a paint sprayer to apply the color to the base of the table as well as the chairs. Now the hardest part of them all, that's applying the polyurethane. Poly is very tricky, especially for those that have no experience using it, like myself. As I said earlier, using brushes specific to applying poly is recommended. Cutting corners and using a regular paintbrush will not yield you the results that you wanted. It is important to note that you should never shake or vigorously stir a can of poly, as this will incorporate air bubbles into the product. I wanted the glossy of glossy finish, so I tried a satin semi-gloss and then the clear gloss poly, which I actually ended up settling on. It provided me with the most gloss and shine out of all of the finishes. If you do not apply enough polyurethane coverage to your surface, then you will not have enough protection against scratches and watermarks. And if you apply too much, you can end up with air bubbles, dust particles, or even drag marks in your top coat. Here's a shot of the table after my husband had applied the third and final coat of polyurethane and was ready to wrap this entire project up. He had been working really hard on this table, and I felt guilty asking him to actually apply another coat. So instead of me asking, I took it upon myself to add one more coat of polyurethane. Well, I should have just left well enough alone. While I was applying the final coat of poly, I accidentally knocked over the can on top of the table. The poly was spreading way faster than I could keep up and to wipe it up. It seeped on the floor, in between the cracks of the table. It was just a mess. I ended up leaving drag marks that I was talking about earlier in the top coat. Here are a few of the shots of the disaster I left behind. You can see there are marks on the table with the spillage area. There are dust particles. There are scratch marks from me using the sandpaper. It was just really bad. The table from a distance does not look that bad, and you would have to really be staring pretty intently to see the imperfections. But I know that they're there, and I know that that crazy color on the walls that I started with that as well needs to be. I was so disappointed because the table was in a really good shape at that point, but I had to go and add one more layer of polyurethane, and then I just ruined the entire table. I was so done and felt that since I had made the mess that I should be the person that fixed the mess. But I just didn't have enough strength at that time to continue. I just was not able to do it. Which leads me back to the very beginning of this video, as I promised to share with you what caused the delay in me providing an update on this video. I have been dealing with some health issues that took me away from finishing everything. These health issues have negatively impacted my life, to include my skin. Nothing I tried helped, not even prescription medications. So I started searching for other alternatives to what options there were to help me, because I was so self-conscious, and I still am, of my skin and appearance. There are lots of products out there. Some had ingredients that I knew would irritate my skin. Possibly they were too expensive, or some even were sourced in manners that I didn't like. So out of frustration and curiosity, I started researching making my own creams and other products at home. There was some trial and some error, but I finally found the perfect combination of ingredients. I promise to you, it wasn't 2 weeks before I saw results and improvement in my skin. I was completely amazed. Who knew? I was so excited that I started sharing my story as well as giving samples to family members and friends of the products that I was using. Before you knew it, everyone was asking for more samples of the products that I was making. And I didn't mind giving it to them for a while. And then I realized just how much I was spending. I thought if so many people love the products that I offered them, maybe I should try to sell them on my own. So I opened shop on Etsy and started selling my products to others. And slowly I've been introducing other products. I've added creams, bath fizzy, soaps, and more. I'm constantly looking for ways to improve on my products and in ways in which I can help someone else that is in the same situation as myself. I know that I'm not alone. In the process of making these products, I've been using the table. You know the one. I've been making all kinds of products that I would love to share with others if I can or if I could. I've used this table to package, wrap, weigh, cut, anything that I needed to do in preparing the products. I've been hard at work. Sadly, though, I've added more scratches to the surface of the table, but that's okay. It's for a good cause. At some point, though, it will need to be repaired. I intend to share the link to my Etsy site where I'm selling my products in the future, but until then, and in the meanwhile, I would like to share with you some of the symptoms that I'm experiencing for one of the disorders that I'm suffering with. I have had symptoms for years and went undiagnosed and untreated for way too long, or I had symptoms that my doctors overlooked or dismissed. So, in the sake of bringing awareness to some of my issues, I'm going to do a series of short videos on different topics or reviews, and at the end of each video, I'm going to share with you a symptom that I'm experiencing. I thought an interesting way to do this was to have a little challenge of name that illness. By me providing clues to my symptoms, you'll learn of different symptoms that many of us actually may be experiencing and could be overlooked. This will also allow you to put the clues together and then formulate a diagnosis and then possibly receive a gift for your efforts. I would like to ask for your participation. The first person that is able to provide me with a diagnosis from the provided clues, I will gift that person with $50 worth of my products that I will select from the current offering that I have at that time. But wait, there are some other criteria that has to be met before I can gift this person. My ultimate goal is to receive at least 500 people to like this video. That's right, like this video, pass it on to your family and friends, and share it with them as well. By this time, I should have already left many clues to some of the symptoms that I'm dealing with. So once I receive the 500 likes and the first person who contacts me with the correct diagnosis after the 500 likes, I will gift that person with $50 worth of my products. I've discovered that I'm suffering with more than one disease, disorder, or syndrome. So if I'm successful with this goal of getting 500 people to like and participate, I most likely will do this again for another illness to again bring awareness. So I'm going to leave the very first clue to one of the symptoms that I have in this video, and that is the illness that I'm dealing with causes an inflammation of my tendons. I'll repeat that once more. The illness that I'm dealing with causes an inflammation of my tendons. So there you go. I plan to upload another video shortly. At the end of that video and others behind it, I will also provide other symptoms and clues for you to listen to and put it all together. I sure hope that you participate. Like, that's right, thumbs up. You got to come back, right? And you see this gift basket in my hand. This could possibly be yours. I sure hope so. Even if you don't stop back, I really do appreciate you coming back to listen to my update. I hope that you're able to use the information that I provided to your benefit and to any project you're working on. And I appreciate your time. Hope to see you back here again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.